Hello, everyone. Welcome back to Bro Banter, the ultimate podcast for dudes and bros. My name is Stefan. With me always is David. We have a very, very exciting episode for you guys as usual. There's a whole lot to cover, so we're just going to go ahead and jump right in. Starting with the first segment, Bro Breakdown. Bro Breakdown. Actually, before we get to the breakdown, we are just going to go over the wins, correction from the picks last week. So David decided at the very last minute that he was going to do some ballsy picks.
Figured why not try some upsets. I didn't do too bad considering. Who do I have for the Eagles and Jets?
Oh, we'll get to that. So total 15 games, 9 correct, 6 missed for a total of 60% correct. After last week, I felt obligated to, to have some kind of redemption. So 15 games on my side, I had 11 correct, 4 missed for a 73% correct. This was a weird week. I feel like most everyone would have missed at least 2 of these picks. In fact, almost every commentator, every sports analyst, everyone on that actually covers the league did miss at least 2. But getting into the breakdown, Philly and San Francisco. We can go ahead and just, clear the elephant in the room. Of course, I am a huge Philadelphia fan, no doubt about it. This was an embarrassing loss. Absolutely was. And it without a doubt was on our quarterback. The quarterback is the most important position on the entire field. It's up to him if we are in danger to get us out of danger, or it's up to him to keep us out of danger. If we have a lead, it's up to him to keep the lead and to make decisions to put us in the best possible advantage. And Jalen just failed to make those next level decisions to keep us ahead of the New York Jets.
Are you talking about that third interception where they should have ran it off when they had the lead and under the 2-minute warning at the end of the game?
Well, no, I'm not gonna pick apart his game because ultimately, in comparison to the other top tier quarterbacks in the league, it wasn't as terrible. The only downside to his play versus the other was that he wasn't able to secure the win. We were also without, some of our greatest weapons. We did not have Darius Slay. We did not have Jalen Carter. We lost Lane Johnson halfway through the third. And, if you're a man of stats, right? So statistically, whenever we lose Lane Johnson, regardless of who else is in the game, the Eagles are losing. That's just statistics.
And most of those were defensive players, right?
Lane Johnson is an offensive lineman.
He's
the main.
But the rest of those were the defensive players.
Absolutely.
Your defense still held the Jets to less than 20.
I would still say though that the entirety of the game was just a step less than what we've expected, at least what I've expected to see from the Eagles. Not only this year, because this year has been a slow start, but in comparison to the dynasty that we are, attempting to create. And on the other side, we weren't the only ones with a step short. San Francisco just had their entire team just dominated by Chicago. No, by Cleveland.
They could have got the win. Moody lost 2 kicks that he should have had. One of them was well within his range when they ran it down. You're right. They should have won that game by leaps and bounds, but they also lost, as you say, the best weapons on that offense comparably to anything else. Yet without those weapons, they ran it down the field to get a field goal, and that kicker still missed a well within his range kick.
But here's one thing that really stood out to me in comparison to these 2 games, because I've heard people, especially commentators and analysis that cover the league, talk about how much greater the San Francisco 49ers are in comparison to the Philadelphia Eagles. And I'll even admit, my eye test tells me whenever I'm looking at them play, especially the last few weeks, San Francisco has been the more dominant team. They started out with all of their weapons, and it was throughout the playmanship of the Cleveland Browns that took those weapons away. The 49ers shot themselves in the foot with Christian McCaffrey. Would you agree?
They're trying to use him too much?
Yeah, absolutely.
Well, I mean, they tried to use him too much because, in all rights, he is a very athletic, very comparable, outstanding player. When you use somebody so much, so they're going to get injured, and it's going to throw a nice wrench in your offense.
It almost seems like they were doing it though because they had to,
but they didn't.
Exactly.
You saw Purdy run it down the line without Ayuk's catch that should have been a touchdown. He had no weapons that last quarter. As per everybody, Debo was out, McCaffrey was out, Kittle wasn't even used. He used number 15 and threw it down the freaking line, and gave his kicker a very good chance of winning that game for the team. By getting it down there.
I think putting it on the kicker, setting the game on the shoulders of the kicker, that's not only
that was their weakest point on that drive.
I mean, and that's arguably with any team. I mean, special teams is never going to be as good as the regular offense unless you're the Baltimore Ravens
or the Chiefs.
I mean, that's fair. Butker does do some pretty incredible shit. I mean, as a kicker, you don't even practice with the team. I mean, yeah, it's within their range. Any kicker can kick it from 60 yards. I think
that was 40.
But having the entire game rest upon your shoulders, he's never been in that position.
Well, he's never been pressured like that.
Right.
Purdy's never been pressured like that in any one of his games. The issue is Moody's never been put in that position because the pressure's never been there, and they've never had to win by 3 points or 2 points. At the same time, with the game on the line and a 40-yard friggin' field goal, I think it was 43, well within his range. I'm not for sure the actual yardage, but it was well within his range. He'd already made one. That's why they ran it down for a little bit more, because he'd already missed one over 50-some yards. So they got him in that 40-yard range, and they were like, give it to our kicker, give him a chance. Because the time was running out.
I don't think it's
fair.
They had
no timeout.
I don't think it's fair to put it on Moody that entire loss like that. I mean, that was for me it was absolutely poor coachmanship from Kyle Shanahan. It was a lack of follow through with Brock Purdy. We were messaging in the middle of the game and actually got into a pretty heated debate. I said this to me looks like the true skillmanship of Brock Purdy. And you took that as a slide, and it absolutely wasn't at all.
He had one interception.
But would you say that the level of play is what you expected?
For being pressured the first time, I expected him to overthrow and have some misconnections. At the same time, when he came down on the fourth quarter, I expected that to be a win for the team.
Okay.
And
so just that first sentence that you said, that is not the characteristic of a top-tier MVP
quarterback. But Jalen Hurts is a top-tier quarterback, and he threw 3 interceptions and lost the game.
100%.
So how can you say that Jalen Hurts is top-tier on just the year and a half he's been in the league, but Brock Purdy isn't? He's only got the one regular season loss, the one interception in the regular season.
A.J. Brown wasn't a wide receiver 1 until he came to the Eagles. Devontae Smith wouldn't have been a wide receiver 2 on any other team. Probably wouldn't even be a wide receiver 3 on any other team. Dallas Goedert is barely a top 10 tight end, if he is at all. The only thing that we had going for us last year was the defense and Jalen Hurts. Jalen put the team on his back multiple times.
So Jalen Hurts running.
Not just running.
And Brock Purdy throwing the ball and getting it out.
Not just running. I watched Jalen Hurts make decisions, lead a team, make changes mid-play because of defenses that Brock Purdy has not been able to do. Brock Purdy in his game is not as developed as a top-tier quarterback. I think the reason that his stats are as incredible as they are because of the incredible weapons that he has around him.
You do know that Brock Purdy could have been an Alabama quarterback. He had a scholarship to go there, and he chose not to because the head coach.
He would not have played football in Alabama.
You're right. He chose not to.
He would not have played football.
Not to,
he would not have played football in Alabama. I don't know how to be any clearer than that.
He would have.
He wouldn't have.
With his skill level, he probably would.
Why didn't he play football in Alabama?
The head coach said that he was too short and he didn't have the experience. So then he put up numbers at the college he went.
You think that a coach that says that about a player is going to then let that player play on the team next to Tua Tagovailoa and Jalen Hurts?
But you said Tua was nothing until this year.
No, I did not.
Last year, you were making fun of him all year.
I'll make fun of him again.
And you didn't say he was a top-tier quarterback then either.
I still have yet to. If Tua can stay healthy, he'll absolutely be a top-tier quarterback.
But yet he played for Alabama, everybody.
My point is,
hold on.
Do you see what I mean? Do you see what I mean about your inability to talk about objectively?
No. I am being objective.
No, you're not.
You're not. You're looking at it straight up.
Jesus,
he couldn't play.
See, you're getting emotional, and you're not even letting me get my point out, and you're saying things that are absolutely irrelevant.
You're saying he wouldn't play in Alabama if he already got a scholarship.
Would not have. Okay,
he turned down the scholarship to play football in Alabama.
How many people get scholarships that don't play?
You're right, but if he put up any kind of skills that he put up in Iowa when he
wasn't at Iowa yet. That's what I'm trying to say. We're talking about Alabama. The whole reason that he went to Iowa is because he knew that he would not play at Alabama.
No.
Okay.
If you ask Brock Purdy himself, he stated in an interview that he chose not to go to Alabama because of what the coach said about his playability.
And you think that he was just downridden, just motivated by that?
In Iowa.
See, okay, if you're not going to let me continue, then we might as well just stop the podcast now.
I mean, he broke records in Iowa. You're saying that
who's been out of Iowa? Nobody. Fucking nobody's come out of Iowa. You know how easy it is to break records in a place where less than 0.08% of the NFL go to? Break records at Duke, break records at Villanova, break records at Alabama, break records in Florida, break records at Texas. I honestly don't think that he was motivated by the head coach of Alabama that he decided to go to Iowa State and blow it up. I think he knew that he wasn't going to get actual field time legitimately to make a case to go to the NFL. So he decided to go to a split where he would get plenty of spotlight, plenty of play time, and would be able to create separation. At the end of the day, it's a business, and he absolutely knows how to market his brand. But no, I wholeheartedly believe, especially with the whole reason that he went to Iowa State, being that he wasn't a physical stance, that he didn't have a whole lot of pedigree to work with, that he would not have gotten a lot of play time, that he would not have, as you said, broken state records, school records, and then had an opportunity to get drafted into the NFL. However, because he was drafted into the NFL as Mr. Relevant, he did go to a dominant team that already had some forces on them because they decided to go with their third string quarterback as their franchise and paying him less than $1 million a year. They can have top 5 everything else. All I'm saying is I'm not on the Brock Purdy train until some of those weapons come away and we still see this level of play. That's all I'm saying. If that continuation, if that level,
you're telling me you didn't see it in the fourth quarter?
No,
I watched the game. Are we not watching the same game? Are we not?
Evidently not. Because if you think that we're going to see separation with this guy's true skill level anytime in this year, we're not. We're not. Even if he wins the Super Bowl, I'm still going to have to see. I'm going to have to see him go to probably a completely different team where there's one other superstar, like there is most of the NFL.
You know, one of those Super Bowl rings that Mahomes has He had Tyreek Hill. He had Travis Kelce. He had.
That's it. That's it. That's it.
We're gonna have to disagree. I agree to disagree because I mean, what I saw in the fourth quarter of that game, taking it down without any weapons.
He still had weapons. It's still the most dominant team in the NFL.
With the pressure he had, and
From
both
the
those
Browns.
top 5 weapons that were off the field injured. Not even just them.
What, Debo and
Not
Christian
even just
McCaffrey?
them.
There was still Brandon Ayuk and George Kittle.
Trent Williams, Debo Samuel, and C-Mac out third quarter for injuries. All he had was Ayuk, and he missed a freaking touchdown catch. It was right in his hands.
Okay, Ayuk is still the number 2. George Kittle is the number 2 tight end in the league.
Everything, and not even to Kittle or Ayuk in that last quarter. He sent it to number 15 straight down the field and gave his team a chance to win with the kicker to come out with time on the freaking clock. So you're telling me.
Do you think Cleveland's a top 10 team?
Cleveland? I would put them top 10 now.
You would?
Yeah.
Just because
that defense alone,
they beat San Francisco?
That defense alone. You bring
just because they beat San Francisco?
No. Not just because they beat San Francisco. I think once Deshaun Watson comes back healthy and that offense has a chance to come back, that defense is already stopping people. So, I mean, without even beating the 49ers.
They played worse with Deshaun. You really
so
think
you're telling me they're not a top 10?
No, I don't think so.
But you're telling me the Philly Eagles are still number 1 or number 2 in the NFC?
In the NFC? Absolutely.
Not after the show that Jalen Hurts put on.
One game. I
mean, Mahomes has had 4 games in a row and still came out with a win.
Okay.
The AFC literally dominated the NFC this week.
Oh, it's one. It's one.
I get it.
It's one game.
I get it.
You're literally gonna throw these people that have been on. Where do you put San Francisco right now?
San Francisco number 2.
Really?
Yep.
And this is thinking objectively.
In the NFC, yes. I think the Cowboys solidified it on week 6 as number 1 in the NFC right now.
You think the Dallas Cowboys are the number 1?
I think if you sleep on the Cowboys, you're going to get a loss.
Where do you put them Where do you put them total at the end of the year?
I put them choking in the playoffs. I already said that.
But what
the first week with this.
But like,
I put them going to the playoffs.
Standing wise, you put them
not. What division are they in? They're in the
10-7.
No.
11-6.
No, I'd probably put 12 and yeah.
Okay. Never mind.
What?
I don't understand how you can say that Dallas is the number 1 in the NFC right now after one bad game, but Dak is not a top-tier quarterback.
You're right. I don't think he's a top tier.
How is that then?
His time in the last 2 years alone says he's not top tier. He's
but how? Why would you put Dallas at number 1?
Really?
Yeah.
With the weapons they have?
Yes.
Even if you
What
have
weapons?
Middle of the road quarterback, as you call Brock Purdy.
What weapons?
CeeDee Lamb. What's his name? He blew up last night. CeeDee Lamb only got a few of them, but shit. Ferguson didn't get much. I don't have his name off the top of my head. The other receiver they have. Their number 2 wide receiver put up numbers that your number 1 wide receiver couldn't do with the top tier quarterback.
Blowing out someone else's candles doesn't make your own shine brighter.
It's the NFC.
I'm talking strictly about Dallas.
He doesn't like Dallas. They're in the same division. He's doesn't think they're.
You brought Dallas up.
Yes, I think they're number one over the
And
NFC
I'm
right
asking
now.
you why
I
you
don't
think
think-
that.
Yeah,
I'm just asking you why you think that. And
Look.
you're throwing shade at Philly. Why?
throwing shade at both of the
Why?
49ers and Philly.
You
not
didn't.
just
You haven't
Philly.
said shit about San
I
Francisco.
said San
All you've done is
Francisco
talk
will be
shit
number
about
2
Philly
and Philly will be
because I
number
put you on the
3.
spot.
No, I said number 2
So,
would be San
okay,
Fran.
CeeDee Lamb.
Number 3 would be
CeeDee
Philly.
Lamb, who is probably going to be a number 1 on most teams. Number 2
He's
on
only a
some.
top 10 wide receiver right now.
He's
Stats-wise,
still be
he's
a number
actually
1
top
on most
15.
teams. He'd still be a number 1 on most teams.
So with Brown,
And who? AJ Brown?
yeah,
He would now.
he really.
No. Yeah. And you think he was number 1 on Tennessee? You think anyone in the fucking league would have had him at wide receiver 1 at Tennessee? No.
I mean, there might be a reason why you picked up Julio Jones then.
Because Devontae Smith and Kes Watkins. You think Julio's going to come in and take wide receiver 1? No.
I mean,
He's coming in to take wide receiver 3.
your wide receiver 2 dropped 3 passes. They should have been right in his hands.
So did Kadarius Toney, who's wide receiver 1 for the Chiefs. It's one bad game. It's one bad game, dude. And if there's one thing that we have learned from Jalen Hurts is he's always going to come back better. He's going to come back better.
The team
And
is.
who do you think
The team is.
Jalen
I don't put
Hurts
it on
is?
just on Jalen Hurts. I put it on the team.
Well, if you look at the intangibles, Jalen
Okay.
Hurts.
And if you ask Jalen Hurts, is the team win? He says it every week.
You're gonna
Okay.
leave. Okay.
I mean, does he not say it?
We're because of his intangibles, he is, I think, the most character-defined quarterback in the NFL. I think I think he is the most character-defined quarterback in the NFL. I think when it comes to leadership qualities, I think that absolutely he will put a team on his shoulders. And yes, you will absolutely see the entirety of the team, noticeably and a measurable difference, Jalen Hurts, come next week when we face Miami. And then next Tuesday,
I don't put Miami winning that game anyways. So if they pull out a win in Philly, I will be very surprised and very happy at the same time for my team. As of week 6, the MVP runnings right now is Tua on top of all the other ones. And that's just after week 6. He's number 1 in the MVP runnings for the year right now. But I don't see him pulling out a win against that defense. He hasn't been pressured like that this year with that defense that you do have. That's as simple as that. If he can pull out a win against that defense, then yeah, we'll see Kansas City and Germany and smoke them then if we can take Philly and Philadelphia.
in 24 starts with Jalen playing, there's been 2 losses. I will take that all day.
Okay.
That's better than Brock Purdy. That's better than.
I mean, you don't like Purdy anyways. You don't think the hype is there. So, I mean,
I don't know how many times I have
putting
to
his
say,
name against Jalen Hurts right off the bat
because that's
tells you
that's
everything
the
you need to
comparison.
know.
That's the comparison.
No, that's my argument for top tier. Your argument against it is
My argument against it is
he's
that
got 1 loss in the regular season.
Purdy.
Yeah,
So does Hurts.
but Purdy's not top tier.
Not yet.
Okay.
Not yet. And believe me, dude, I think that you think my continuation of this as a dislike of Purdy, I absolutely don't dislike Purdy. In fact, I think that if he can go to another team or stay with the Niners while some weapons go to some other teams and get paid, I think it's going to be the greatest success story in the history of the NFL. I think if there is absolutely a continuation of what he's done. It is the makings, the foundation of the greatest of all time.
I don't think Purdy's the greatest of all time, but I do think that we need to give him what he deserves, and that's what he's done already is stat-wise puts him in a top-tier position with the quarterbacks in the league right now.
No. Not yet.
If you take his 16 games and put him up against anybody else's starting 16 games in the league quarterback, he is top tier, whether you like it or not.
No.
Stat-wise,
okay, yeah,
he's done.
Yeah, on paper, duh.
On paper, he is top tier, right across the board.
On paper.
He's actually top 5 on paper.
Yeah. On paper.
And he's showing it. He only has one loss.
He's not, no, because that's still on paper. You're still just looking at paper. When you talk about losses, standings, all of that, that's still on paper.
He was literally pressured for the first time.
And
ever.
what happened?
He still brought him down to a winning chance.
Oh.
You got to realize that's 6 points on the board that should have been there. At least 3.
The first time
40 yards.
The first time that he was ever pressured, it was a collapse. A collapse. The whole thing, you're dying on the hill of the final drive.
No, he took what could have been a loss and a sack to a gain of yards.
It was still a loss. It was still a loss.
No, he still got 2 yards.
It was, but okay, Jesus Christ. You're hyper focusing on one play. I'm not. Get away from the last drive. Get away from that one sack. Get away from the idea that the loss was on Moody. I'm not saying the loss was on.
And you're saying he's a top 5 weapon for him.
Brandon Ayuk is absolutely a top 5
weapon. He had the ball in his hands.
So did A.J. Brown. So did Devontae Smith. So did Kadarius Toney.
That's my point.
I'm not talking about that. No, I'm not.
That would have been
I'm not saying that is the part that makes Brock Purdy bad. What I'm saying is the part that makes Brock Purdy bad is the overthrows, the underthrows, the throws to the other team. And it wasn't just a miscommunication with the receiver. It was a throw to the other team. Buddy, it doesn't matter if it was just one. It was the ugliest fucking one ever.
But he's only got one.
Okay. I guess we're only going to consider how good a quarterback is based on the stats. What?
We're going to agree to disagree because you think it's the weapons on that team.
It absolutely is.
I think that Brock Purdy is a weapon on that team.
Is he good? Yes. Is he great? No.
He's a weapon.
Is he top 5? No. Is he top 10? Maybe.
No, he's definitely top 10.
Maybe.
Definitely.
We don't know 100% for sure yet. We don't know 100% for sure. And anyone that has him in a top 5, like legitimate top 5, not just the season top 5, that's crazy.
He's top 10 right now.
Top 10 right now, yeah, on paper for sure.
Overall, on paper or not, he's top 10.
No.
Yep.
No.
Yeah.
No.
Yep. Completion rate and everything.
That's
the
still paper.
The play of the game this weekend
paper.
alone, being pressured as bad as he was, still top 10.
That's okay. You're still just looking at just paper.
The game alone.
What
first game he's pressured in, and he still comes out with an almost win.
Dude, okay, I'm not gonna do that. We're not gonna do almost wins. It was a complete collapse.
Okay, so a top tier quarterback being pressured by the Jets defense.
The same Jets defense who, with the greatest of all time right now, Patrick Mahomes, 2 interceptions, almost another one with Sauce Gardner. Josh Allen threw 3 interceptions with a fumble loss.
He's a turnover king in the world.
2 weeks ago, he whooped y'all's ass.
Yeah, you're right. We got exposed. But that's a division rivalry. Division rivalries are 10 times worse when it comes to playing with them than a regular season game. That's why playoffs are ran.
He's still a top 3 contender for the MVP. They're still a top 3 contender for the Super Bowl every year. So regardless of what you have to say about him, Josh Allen is a good quarterback.
Yeah, he's good.
He is a good quarterback.
Yeah. I consider him good. Mahomes good. Jalen Hurts good. Brock Purdy good.
3 interceptions and had a fumble loss against the Jets. Patrick Mahomes had 2 interceptions, almost a third, if not for the hold from Sauce Gardner. Jalen Hurts had 3 interceptions, but you know what he did that the other 2 quarterbacks didn't do? He ran for 65 yards. He also threw 280 yards to every single person on his team. And he absolutely takes the loss onto his shoulders and will get better. And will get better. It's one bad game. And yeah,
So you
they
put
can
Jalen Hurts above the other two, Mahomes and Allen?
above Allen? Yes.
I said Mahomes and Allen.
Not Patrick, no. No, Patrick just does things that I haven't seen any other quarterback do in a long time. But this year has not been good.
For either three of them.
But do you know what me, you, and every other person in the entire world that watches football, do you know what we can do? We can, without a doubt, know that it's not going to stay that way. Just like
You're right. But Brock Purdy's one game isn't going to stay that way either.
right.
That's my point.
And what
But
I'm
yet
saying,
he's not in contention with the top 10 to you.
no. And let me tell you why. Because I wholeheartedly believe if you put any quarterback in that position, they're going to do well. We watched it happen. Jimmy G won a fucking Super Bowl. Any quarterback you put in that position is going
Did Jimmy
to do
G
well.
have C-Mac?
He wasn't in the league yet.
Okay. Did he have Ayuk?
Not yet.
So he had Debo and Kittle.
And Trent Williams.
Okay. So he had 3.
Right.
And only 2 of them are top 5. Trent Williams top 10.
So when Jimmy G was doing it, he was top 5. George Kittle wasn't top 5 yet.
Okay, so he didn't have the weapons.
He still had the weapons. Yeah. Still had 2 top 5 receivers and a top 10 tight end.
I mean, right now he's got 2 top wide receivers on the Raiders, and they have more losses than they have wins.
I wouldn't put Jacoby as a top 5.
He's beating Adams left and right.
Yeah.
Left and right.
Yeah. And
So you're telling me Jacoby Myers is not
right, he's not.
a wide receiver 1 option?
No.
Well, he seems to be one for Jimmy G.
Just because they've connected, like the last couple games,
The last few games.
last 2 games. Yeah. Because
There was only one game that Adams put up more yards and points
yes,
than
and it was
Myers.
the one before the last 2.
And then the other ones was Jacoby Myers also.
The one before that was evenly spread, but the one before that was pretty gnarly.
Yeah.
But I didn't have Devontae then.
I mean, it's wide receiver 1 in any other team right now. Jacoby Myers would dominate any of the wide receivers on the Chiefs right now. You're telling me he wouldn't?
Yeah, he would.
So you're telling me he can't be wide receiver 1 on any other team?
Well, no, he's not going to be.
I mean,
he's not going to be. He's not going to be wide receiver 1 on the Chiefs. Okay. Am I right? Am I wrong?
You're right.
Thank you.
You're definitely wrong.
I'm wrong.
You're right. You're wrong. Jacoby Myers would not have dropped those freaking passes.
You think Jacoby
The first
Myers is
game.
going to be wide receiver 1 on? You think he's going to be receiver 1 on the Chiefs? Not wide receiver 1, but receiver 1. You think he's going to get the most looks?
They're tight ends.
Thank you.
They're tight ends.
Thank you.
He's not a wide receiver.
So I
So
said-
yes, wide receiver, yes.
I said receiver 1.
Yeah, receiver 1.
You think he's going to be receiver
He
1?
would have more looks as a receiver than any other receiver. Yes.
Not the tight end.
The tight end's not a receiver. He just
Yes, he
doesn't
is.
block. I mean, come on, he's used as a wide receiver, but he's not. His
Look,
stats are a boost for receiving
no,
yards,
look, we have
catches.
No, stop.
yards after
we
carry.
have to just come to the understanding that the tight end is no longer a full block position.
He has to at least block.
Not really.
If you're not a tight end blocking and receiving, you're not a tight end. You're just a glorified receiver. It's statted as a tight end. That's it. Like
No.
putting in a position.
As just like the quarterback position has evolved, right? Would you agree that a quarterback absolutely has to be dual threat to be successful?
At least.
I think that we absolutely have to appreciate the evolution of the tight end. I think that it is. I wholeheartedly believe that the blocking from a tight end is not necessary in any fashion.
I appreciate the evolution when it comes to more receptions because they're getting more looks, but they still have to be able to block. That's
Why?
the whole position.
No, it's not, because
you're telling me if you hand it off, the tight end ain't got to do nothing, just hang out in the freaking side, not blocking for nothing. He has to know how to block. He has to be able to block.
Okay, yeah. So, okay, but not when he's receiving, and not when he's the one with the ball. So no, he fucking doesn't.
So,
and if an offensive lineman can block 2 or more people, is it necessary for a tight end to block? No, absolutely not. Thank you. Gosh, who can do that? Who can do that? Lane Johnson can. Gosh, where the fuck are we on the bro breakdown? What the fuck is going on with Bill Belichick? Is that a tarnished legacy? Fuck Brock.
Since he didn't put Mac Jones on the bench, yeah, it's a stupid fucking move.
I don't.
Mac Jones should have been benched.
I don't know.
Zappy should have came out. I think they would have had the win. Stevenson had the best game he had all year.
Looking back at it, I think I have a full understanding as to why Zappy's not coming in. He was the one that did that stupid ass shit with the Raiders last year.
They would have had a win. In my opinion, if Zappy would have came out, they would have had a win. Stevenson put up way more yards than he has all season. That running back hadn't shown up at all until this weekend. With Zappy at quarterback, we'd have seen more receptions also, and we'd have probably got more points on that scoreboard.
Look,
that was the nail on the coffin putting Jones back in after his showings.
I tried moving on, but I can't do it. Philly may be in the 5th spot of the power rankings, but we're definitely going to come back. We're going to come back. And I know that everyone
is back on Philly.
Because I can't fucking let it go yet.
I know you're upset over the weekend, but come on.
I can't let it go yet.
Come on.
I need a haircut. It's getting hot.
Literally, you guys would have come out with a win if you hadn't thrown that ball when we ran down the clock.
I know.
If he would have taken it on his own shoulders and ran the ball or gave it to Swift, because Swift was starting to get some freaking ground.
And look,
that would have been a win by 2 points. And it would have been a crappy win, just like the Chiefs have been doing the last 3 weeks, but it would have been a win.
It would have been a win. You're right. And if you've noticed, Jalen is not playing like he was last year. And I don't know why.
Well, because he's got $200+ million for 4 years.
That doesn't explain why you would stop what was successful.
I mean, it's guaranteed money.
Why would you stop what was successful? You're still going to get a bonus for winning. You're still going to no.
Money. He's been injured more this year.
No, stop
just
that.
In the start of the year.
Stop that. And he had an incredible game last
well, yeah, the one, but he didn't actually put up as many points as I thought he would, or receiving yards. But he did better than any other week he's been on that team.
And like Zeke,
because he's been out 3 weeks.
Like Zeke and like Kareem, I think once these dudes get their legs about them, they're still going to be able to do some really, really incredible things. But hang on, let me get this out. Philly,
he's upset. He's spaghetti.
is a force to be reckoned with. Okay, Jalen Carter's going to come back. Darius Slay's going to come back. Lane Johnson's going to come back.
When are they coming back?
Hopefully soon.
I'm thinking probably not this week, but next week.
I think Jalen Carter's coming back.
I think next week. I don't think it's going to be week 7, if I read it correctly.
We'll keep you guys updated on the group. It's going to come down to San Francisco and Philadelphia for the NFC. Dallas isn't going to be anywhere fucking near there.
No, they're going to choke in the playoffs.
They're not even going to get to the playoffs, guys. They're not going to make it to the fucking wild card. They're not going to do it. They're not doing it. I promise. Let me ask you a question. And I want you to be quick with this, okay? I don't want you to take too long to think about it. I just want you to spit the first one that comes to your head. Tua or Patrick?
Right now, Tua.
Okay. Swift or Barkley?
Swift.
Okay, so why do you have both of those motherfuckers on your bench?
Yeah, I gave Mahomes another chance, And Saquon Barkley was coming out for the first week after being injured, and I gave him a chance too, and both of them got boloed by my bench.
So this week is going to be especially tough for me.
I'm about to trade Mahomes off.
God, dude.
He's going against the Chargers this week. What are they going to? They're going to KC, aren't they?
It doesn't matter. It's a divisional game, and they
always
have a tough time.
Yeah, it's going to be a just nail biter.
Mm-hmm.
I think they're going to KC, so
doesn't matter.
I realize that the Chargers are coming in right now with a loss that was close against one of the best defenses they've went against right now. They triple teamed Michael Parsons until the very last part, and then they went to double team him, and they missed him on that second one, and he got that sack to finish the game.
I can't stand that fucking dude.
Michael Parsons is a beast. I don't care. You sleep on him and you don't double team him, you're going to get a sack.
It's not even that they weren't even double teaming him. They were just leaving him.
They triple teamed him.
No, dude, the 3 or 4 plays that I saw where he was pressuring, the lane was completely wide open. He just went out the outside. I'm like, why the fuck is Michael Parsons? Why is 11 just left open? Why are they just leaving 11 just let go?
He was triple teamed.
Not the shit that I saw.
He was triple teamed.
I'll show you some replays. Anyway, did you see the replay of who was that?
Is that a dead hand? What are you doing here?
No. That's the wrist flick that we saw.
The one we messaged each other. Yeah. I forgot who the fuck that was.
Did you see it? Did you see what I was talking about there?
I didn't see the finger move, no. I'm a science guy. Force upon force, reaction, action, reaction. I don't think that was. I think that was a fumble. That's just my personal opinion, and it was a close call, anyways, with the announcers and everything else. They had to literally look at that thing for a good freaking 10, 15 minutes upstairs.
I'm gonna find the flick whenever we go
downstairs. The issue I have is when hit a force of yours, you get hit here, your body does this to take over. So his arm was coming forward just because of that hit. If his finger did move, that's different because his finger is something he would have control over at that point. I did not see the finger roll. So I saw his hands and arm move.
You are correct. But you have to take this into consideration. He was not squared.
You're right. He was going down, so he was going like this.
Yeah, he was moving.
So his arm was going like this. That's my point.
No. He was hit. He was hit this way, and was falling this way.
And when you do that, you fall this way.
Yeah.
So your arm moving forward.
But that's not what happened. What happened was.
I didn't see the finger roll, and I definitely didn't see the wrist move.
Whenever we go downstairs.
Not when it's I didn't see the movement of the finger or the wrist throwing the ball. I saw action, reaction. That's what I saw.
I'll show you whenever we go downstairs.
So
total, who do you think the star show was?
I mean, honestly, you can't reverse it with no clear evidence. So it wasn't going to get reversed. In my opinion, it would have been a fumble.
I'll show you. Because you are a man. You are a man of science, and that's why it blew my fucking mind. I don't even want to get into that, but it blew my fucking mind when you thought the head thing was intentional. And I'm confident once you see the flick that you'll know that it was intentional grounding. Start of the show. What do you think?
This week, Tua. I got him right down here. Tua, 6.7 yards per route, 163 receiving yards, 3 missed tackles, only 24 snaps because he came out with a hamstring. He put up more numbers than any other wide receiver this week, in my opinion. And MVP of the week, I put him in there. Start of the week for week 6. Not for any other weeks.
I'm not going to do that.
Who you got?
Robert Saleh.
Really?
Yeah.
Explanation.
The play calling was absolutely what was needed to pull out a dub.
Really?
Yeah. You're going to put an injured player that got less than 200 yards as the star of the show? My quarterback who got 3 fucking interceptions threw up 280.
3 interceptions.
Yeah. Still had 280 yards. We're going to make the star of the show.
I would have put Tua over Jalen for the star of the show week 6.
165 yards. 163 yards. Yeah, star of the show.
Yeah.
Robert Saleh.
My opinion.
We'll take a poll.
Who you got defensive player of the week?
Probably Micah.
Yeah? I don't. I got his other side. Osa, I don't know how to pronounce his fucking name. Oda Gazuka or whatever. With Micah Parson being triple teamed, he put more pressures, 5 hurries, 3 tackles, resulting in and all 3 of those tackles resulted in defense stops, and a 92.4 run defense grade.
Actually, I changed my mind. We'll put Hassan Reddick.
Really?
Yeah.
All right.
He had 2 sacks, almost 3, with 2 additional assists.
I mean, I'll give you that as an option. Yeah. I mean, I wouldn't put Parsons. They only had 1 sack. It was the game-ending sack, and he was triple. That was the one time he didn't have 3 people on him, and he just ran right through and just barreled into him.
Yeah, I forgot about Hassan Reddick. He looked more like he did last year whenever he had. Him and Avonte Maddox tied for most sacks.
What do you think about A-Rod practicing without his crutches, throwing the pigs thing right before that game?
Dude.
He is literally just trying to prove everyone wrong that he can come back this year.
You know that dude is making $1 million every, 2 Tuesdays in a month?
I get it. But look what he's doing. Look what he's doing.
I don't know.
He tore his Achilles. He should not be walking without crutches right now, and he's throwing the pigskin with nothing.
So, did he really, though?
Yeah. There's a video of it for the pregame of him out there with no crutches.
No. Did he really tear it?
He's already had surgery for it, dude.
Were you there?
Well, no.
Okay. That's what I'm saying. And if anyone would do some shit like that.
We all saw what his ankle did live.
You're right. I saw him slip for sure.
You saw his ankle freaking just.
I don't know what shit does when you're 40.
Oh, my gosh.
Stuff happens. And look, I saw that dude so fucked up one time. I thought he broke his fucking knee, right? That dude went into the locker room, came back out, and his eyes were like this. And he didn't blink for the entire second half. Do you remember that?
Opiates.
Do you remember that?
That motherfucker was on opiates.
They had him on.
But you gotta understand. Before A-Rod, Brett Favre. And to get Brett Favre on the field every time, they would give him shots.
Demerol.
They would give him pills.
Oh, yeah. They give him a handful of Vicodin and Demerol.
Yeah. Go out there and be the MVP we need. I get it. Do I think it's legal? In my opinion, no, because if you're on those, you don't feel the pain of hurting yourself anymore.
Fuck that. You know what? Here's my goal. Give the biggest, baddest, best fucking NBA player or NFL players on the field right now. I want to see Myles Garrett hopped up on fucking testosterone and
dude, he's already a beast.
Yeah. I want to see DK Metcalf on as many fucking steroids as possible.
He ain't gonna catch a ball.
I want to see.
Motherfucker's already huge.
No, he's gonna. He'll catch it with his fucking mouth.
Yeah, he's a freaking fridge already.
Yeah. I want to see Jalen Carter on fucking T. You know what I'm saying?
He probably already is.
Put Sauce
Testosterone isn't really a steroid, so they can be on testosterone boosters. Yeah, if they're below a certain level, if they test them, they can be on testosterone.
But listen, because of everything else that they're on, they cannot be on testosterone. I don't think you understand. Where the fuck are we in our segments? Oh yeah, Dallas or New England?
Is that even a question?
Yeah, wholeheartedly, because I think Dallas is fucking trash.
New England's going to get no. Dallas is above them. Yeah.
New England?
Yeah, New England Patriots. You can just go jump off a cliff at this point. Bill Belichick leading the pack.
Oh, dude, Dallas, I fucking hate it. And Dallas, listen.
He doesn't like them as a team.
No. Dallas?
Yeah.
No. I know. Look, guys.
Can you say they're top 5 in the NFC right now?
Top 5?
Yes.
I'd have to relook at the rankings. Yeah, probably. I only give a fuck about the top 3, and they're not there.
He's not top 3?
No.
Who's top 3 in the NFC right now?
Dallas?
Who's top 3 in the NFC? You only got 2 right now. Who's the third one?
I don't really give a fuck about any of the rest of them. To be honest with you. If we're being real, it's us in San Francisco. That's it.
Oh my God.
That's it.
There's 4 division leads that's going to go to the playoffs.
Yeah, we're the only ones getting the bye. Yeah, Dallas, listen. I'm heart to heart. Me and you guys, come here. Come closer. Listen. You guys can have your week, okay? Listen. Revel. Be happy. You guys got the dub. Philly didn't. San Francisco didn't. And Dak led the entire league, all QBs in fantasy this week. Did you know that?
I did not know that.
They did. Yeah.
He was on that. He was on that one person's bench, wasn't he?
Who? Yeah, probably. It's
That
Dak
one,
Prescott.
That one that has Josh Allen.
I would put Josh Allen above Dak.
The one that.
And you would too. Wouldn't you? Of course you would. Of course you would. But the Lions, I told you guys.
Happy wife, happy life.
Yeah, I think so. I told you guys, what was it, 2-3 weeks ago? I believe in Goff.
Oh, he's definitely a top tier. I do. I put him there right now. Top 10 quarterback in the league right now.
You have a lot of top 10s. You have 30 top 10s.
No, I don't.
Yeah.
Probably have less than 10 top 10s.
You have a lot of top 10s.
I probably have less than 10.
I'm going to start making you write out all these top 10s. I think we're going to have a lot. Oh, Mahomes, number 1?
I'm just putting the top 10
Okay,
quarterbacks.
all right.
Putting them in order.
We'll keep going then while he does that. Sorry, guys. And that's the breakdown. Star of the show. We're going to take a poll. If you guys think it was Tua Tagovailoa or, am I saying that right?
Yeah. Well, as best as I could think of.
Tua.
I'm not Samoan, so I can't get it right.
Tua, if we're not pronouncing your name right, you can come on the show and pronounce it for us.
I greatly apologize as a fan.
I'm not that sorry. Lions, I told you guys weeks ago, I believe in Goff. Don't believe any ranking that has KC above Detroit because that's not real. I don't know what crack David's smoking because the Dolphins aren't there either. Moving on to Dave's Diamonds. Dave's Diamonds. This was fun. It's getting fun. Dave's Diamonds. This is who we had for last week, guys. We had Deontay Foreman, Curtis Samuel, Zach Moss, Matt Stafford, and then threw Logan Thomas on there. Whoever the fuck Logan Thomas is. I'm just kidding. You guys are going to say who the fuck Logan Thomas is after we read these stats.
Yeah.
We got top 10?
I'm still trying to. We got.
C.J. Stroud's top 10. Rookie QB is top 10.
This year? Yeah, he's going to get Rookie of the Year.
Are we talking top 10 this year or top 10?
I'm talking about this year.
Dude, all right, so we have to really get this figured out, okay? Because we're talking, when you say top 10, we're talking top 10 QB in totality echelon.
Some of these don't have the time and position.
Yeah, that's why I'm like, dude, are you
but they're putting
smoking? Are you
up way more
smoking crack?
stats than the ones that are.
All right, pause that for a minute. We'll put that on the side. Deontay Foreman. Deontay Foreman had 1 reception, 2 yards. He had 65 rushing yards, 7.7 points. That's a minus.
Yeah,
That's not good, Dave.
and Foreman's,
I don't even know why he did that.
Their quarterback went out.
I don't even know why he did that.
Quick.
Not good. Curtis Samuel,
The Bears.
4 receptions, 42 yards, 1 receiving touchdown. That's the only thing that got you this to be an actual diamond that I'll consider. 14.2 points. I guess I gave you the plus on it. Zach Moss. You're cheating putting this guy in there.
He's going against Jonathan Taylor now. This is 2 games in. Yet he's doing more.
6 receptions, 38 yards, 7 carries, 21 yards for those 7 carries,
And
1 rushing touchdown, 17.9 points. The highest of your picks, your diamond picks this week. Matt Stafford. Also, I think we need to just reorganize what I think we are doing with these diamonds. What I thought we were going to do with Dave's diamonds was these were going to be the guys that you were telling our gracious, beautiful, wonderful fans who also play in fantasy to pick up these players or to put these players off of their bench into their lineup for the best chance to win. You like our fans, right?
I do.
You sure?
I've been off 2 weeks. I've been off 2 weeks in my own fantasy league right now. I was literally undefeated and lost to the worst start, and then barely won this week. I still won, but I barely won.
Nate, if you're watching this, we love you, baby.
And Fields and Moore just slaughtered me last week, the week before this last week.
So, Matt Stafford, 15 for 24. That's a 62.5 completion rating. That's not terrible. He had 226 yards with 1 touchdown.
Keenan Allen.
Yeah, that's like my quarterback. Except he had 60 more yards and 3 more passes to the other team. 13.2 points. Even with that terrible play, that Hurts was still in the top 5. I gave you the plus, 3 out of 5. Logan Thomas, the last one that you threw up there.
He was top 5 on his legs, though. Stafford doesn't run that much.
He should. It's not his fault. He's big enough. He can truck motherfuckers.
You're right, but he doesn't.
1 reception, 2 yards, 1.2 points. Why'd you put Logan up there? I'm not talking shit. I'm curious on the thought process.
I was thinking that he hasn't put anything up as a tight end. They only range between 6 to 10 points unless you got
a star.
Travis Kelce. Put 30 points up this week?
17.
No,
wasn't that much.
It was over 20.
Yeah. It might have been over 20. It wasn't 30 though.
Unless you got one of those people, Mark Andrews putting up at least 10 plus every time. I figured he was going to put up at least 9 to 10 points this past week, but he didn't.
No. So
I can be wrong. It's been proven.
It has.
Yeah.
It has.
I can definitely be wrong.
But I just wanted to make sure you like our fans, right?
Yeah, I really do. And I apologize. Straight out the box. I apologize.
Okay.
I'm not going to pick the obvious. Obviously put, Josh Allen, Jalen Hurts, Jared Goff in, though. I'm not putting the obvious ones. These are people to take a chance in on these bye weeks. That's
but to put a player in, you got to take a player out.
I get it. Not everyone's got RB1, WR1, tight end 1, QB1, and a bomb-ass kicker on all their teams.
Let's do some obvious this week. See if we can help out some of our fans.
Some obvious? I need to change my my ones then. Because I picked some through the bye week because the Jets, the Cowboys, and a few others are on bye.
Who do you got?
I got Addison because, obviously, JJ's still out. He's not projected to be back this week. I got Hubbard, the Panthers running back. Sanders is still injured. I don't think he's coming back, so he'll be a nice running back to put in a flex. I got Wandale Robinson, Giants wide receiver. He showed up this past week. And I got Jacoby Myers, number 1 target. He needs to be up there in the WR1 or 2. I also have Butker. That's the best he's done all year. If you have him as the kicker, or he's on somebody's if he's on somebody's bench, try to trade. If you have him on your bench, put him up. If he's not even picked up, grab him.
You got one more?
I thought we were only 5.
That's right. We did.
You told me 5.
Well, we did like 7 the first week.
Well, yeah, because we had to change it. Remember, I was saying some people not to put up there.
All right, hang on. I'm gonna make some side predictions as well. I'm gonna do.
You're doing predictions of what you think will be better?
Yeah.
I mean, that's obvious, Herbert.
Duh.
Obvious, Adams.
You think it's so obvious to be Herbert? You think it's so obvious to be Adams?
Yeah.
Do you think it's obvious?
Well, Adams now because he hasn't shown much.
You know how many points? You know how many points Herbert got last week? Thank you. And we're gonna do one more. We're gonna do a wide receiver, and it's gonna be. Who's it gonna be?
Well, if you're doing obvious, put Hill in there.
No,
Because he's going to blow by your guys' secondary.
I don't think so.
I think so. I think he'll put up some yards.
I don't think he's gonna have an opportunity to get the ball thrown to him.
So you think our quarterback's going to get hit and not have a chance to throw the ball?
He's gonna throw the ball. It's just not gonna be going high and far to Tyreek. I think our defensive line is going to blow through your offensive line. We're going to apply tons of pressure. It's going to force him out of the pocket. So I think this week to look out for is going to be – who's your running back?
Mozart. Because Achan's still out for his knee.
Yeah.
Panthers, Texans, Cowboys, Jets, Titans, and Bengals are all on bye. So if you have – any of those wide receiver ones, any of those running back ones, those are good options right there.
Yeah, 1 or 2. Okay.
Are those playing this week?
Yeah.
What do you got here?
We're not going to talk about it on camera. Moving on to contender or pretender. I'm not even going to show you the stats just yet. I want to see what you think, and then we're going to get into it. And I'm going to go from the bottom up. Hang on a second. Zach Wilson. I know, man. It's so tough.
I mean, Zach Wilson is a borderline contender right now with what he's doing.
I would absolutely agree, yeah.
I mean, a guy that hasn't had much of a chance until just recently in the last couple games.
Was written off, dude. He was written off.
Well, and his coaching staff had him written off. You could tell the confidence that they had in him. They were just handing the ball off and accepting a loss as long as their defense couldn't stop the other team. And when they finally gave him an option to actually pass first instead of run the ball first, they started seeing some things. And I'm saying he's borderline contender right now. And if they keep going like they are, they're going to be a contender, and they're in my own division. We're going to see him.
I'm happy that you brought up Devontae Adams. because as an obvious one. See a contender? You have to put him as a contender if he's an obvious one.
He's an obvious one to put up points. Right now, he's a disgruntled employee.
Oh, so then wait, no.
So
wait. I think we have a contradiction in real time. How can he be an obvious pick and a pretender simultaneously?
I didn't say pretender. I said borderline contender, just like Wilson right now.
So then
borderline contender. I wouldn't say pretender at all.
He
has the skill sets. He has the athleticism. He has the drive. He has a terrible attitude right now.
2.5, 2 for 5 receptions, 29 yards, no touchdowns, 4.9 out of a projected 19 points. That's a pretender.
So you got Adams as a pretender?
Absolutely. He's a pretender. And until he can make a consecutive comeback he needs to score at least one touchdown in the next 3 games to remove this title. Bijan Robinson.
Right now he's a pretender. He ain't doing nothing right now.
What'd I tell you?
I think he's coming back.
Jesus fucking Christ! I'm so tired of hearing this. What'd I tell you? Did I tell you?
That they got his number?
They got his ticket, man. They got his ticket. How many weeks do we have to watch this kid underperform for you to believe me? Is it next week? If we watch him?
If we might watch him underperform.
Wait, Atlanta's got a bye week, don't they?
Are they on bye? I think they are.
I think you show me.
So it'll be a week after.
Yeah. One more week, then you'll agree?
Yeah, 3 in a row. I'll say
it's already been 3. 4 in a row?
It hasn't been 3.
It's been 3. I got rid of him after week 3.
Yeah, but then next week he still put up yards.
He had 13 carries for 37 yards.
I'm not talking about this week. I'm saying week 4 he did put up yards. Week 5 and 6 he ain't done nothing.
No. He has not done shit since week 3. I mean, he may have put up 8 or 9 points.
20, 21, 18. There's only been 2 weeks that he in a row that he missed. Right there. 5 and 6. He is not on a bye. He's playing the Bucks this week.
These are all bad. That one's not. That one's okay. That one's decent. That's decent, but if you look in comparison,
for the team he's on, that team before the season started, they were talking about just tanking for the number 1 draft position.
Buddy, 13 carries for 37 yards, no touchdowns.
I get it.
5 straight receptions, 40
After
yards.
this week, if he can't do nothing against the Bucks,
They got his ticket.
Then he's a pretender all the way.
He's a pretender now, but after this week, if it's another mediocre game, even 18 points because he had a singular touchdown. That's the only reason why he had that many. The play was not good. He only got that many because he was overutilized. But one more, then they got his ticket.
Yeah,
you heard it here. Jalen. They're all good. So. Every single one of them. Never met a bad one.
Yeah, but which Jalen are we talking about right now? Jalen Hurts? Mm-hmm. Borderline contender.
Get the fuck out of my
borderline. House. Only because of his showings. His defense has been saving his ass. He needs to show up. As a top-tier quarterback, as you say, he needs to show up.
Do you know, before this week, he was the only quarterback with over 1,000 yards?
He needs to show up.
28 for 45. This is on this last game. 28 for 45. That's a 62%, 280 yards, 1 touchdown passing, 1 touchdown rushing, 3 interceptions. Technically, only 2. Come on.
I get it. The guy should have caught the ball, and it shouldn't have been an interception.
No,
but it was.
No. I'm not talking about that one. I'm talking about the Dallas Goedert one, where he didn't have full control, and then it got punched out.
Oh, where he smacked it out, and the lineman got it.
Yeah.
At the same time.
Come on.
At the same time.
Come on.
It goes down as an interception.
On
correct?
paper.
Correct.
On paper.
Just hear me out. Correct. It goes down as an interception, correct?
Yes.
So,
But if you were,
With that
hold
alone-
on. If you explained what an interception was and what a fumble was to someone that had never watched football and they watched that play,
then that should not have been an interception. It should have been a cut. I get it.
thank you.
I get it. But
I know.
it's an interception.
I know. But
That one, in my opinion, was not the game loser.
no.
That one just happened.
Yeah.
That could have happened to any quarterback.
Mhm.
It happened to Patrick Mahomes
Mhm.
when it bounced right out of freaking Tony's hands
Right.
and right into the defenders. That was an interception on Pat Mahomes
Right.
week, 1? So that could happen to anyone if the defenders are there to get it out of his hands, and it should have been a catch because it was right in his hands anyways. They shouldn't have been able to get that out of there.
Bad game.
Goddard should have been able to grab a hold and not, pull it in. It was in. But then again, I mean, there were some miscatches anyways. It does come down to an interception. It was not the game-losing interception.
Bad game.
That would have not mattered at all if they would have came back and kept going like they should have. But he had 2 more after that.
Do you know Jalen Hurts had a higher rating than Brock Purdy? Do you know he had more completed passes, a better completion rating, more yards, and more points?
Was he the most this week?
What?
Jalen Hurts.
Most points?
Most points, most yards.
No.
Okay.
No. He wasn't the most points or the most yards.
I think he was the most interceptions this week.
I've been. But we just agreed right here on live.
And one of
national
them
television.
shouldn't have been. You're right.
And we also talked earlier about how Josh Allen and Patrick Mahomes also had the equal amount of interceptions with the same team. So moving on past that, this is the comparison between the 2 quarterbacks of the last undefeated teams.
Is that a
And-
59.5 rating and a 55.3?
And on paper, even with the interceptions, this guy looks better. But you would put him as a borderline contender?
Yes, I would.
Well, you're full of fucking shit. Would you put Brock as a borderline contender as well?
Nope.
But on paper, you're a stats guy. The stats right here.
You're right.
We're gonna put this one,
His-
the one that did better.
His play in the last quarter alone puts him above Jalen Hurts.
We're gonna do this one that played better.
His last quarter alone puts him above Jalen Hurts.
But Jalen played better.
They both came out with a loss.
Yeah, but Jalen played better. The stats say so.
Okay,
See?
I got you.
Better here, better here, better here.
The only
More of these.
See how the stats work on him in one game, but overall it doesn't matter.
I'm just showing him.
Overall, it doesn't matter.
He brought up stats the entire first 25 minutes of this episode.
And he didn't want to hear it. Now he wants to
until
hear
I
it
remember
on
that I
one
had them.
game.
Until I remember that I had stats.
One game.
I didn't have shit. He had me stuck. It was getting hot. But I forgot I had him. I already wrote him down. I'm prepared, guys. I'll read it to you. Brock Purdy, 55.3 rating, 12 for 27 completed. That's a completion rating of 44%. 125 yards, 1 touchdown, 1 interception, 8.7 points. Jalen Hurts, 59.5 rating, less options.
What do I got here? C-Mac, Debo, Trent Williams out. Ayuk missed a touchdown catch, took the field, went down the field with Jack Moody. Jalen Hurts, 30 interceptions, sealed the deal for a loss. Inside the 2-minute warning, should have ran the ball. Shit.
Yeah. So
That's gameplay. That's gameplay, everybody.
Well, here-
that's gameplay.
this Jalen doesn't have any effect over this. That's coaching. And we could do.
They
coaching.
give them 2 options in there, and one of them
We
is
could
a
do-
run.
We could do coaching up here as well because why the fuck did they purposely injure Christian McCaffrey? We're gonna put that loss of a weapon on there, but not all the weapons that Jalen didn't have. Better. I mean, yeah. Look, this.
The coach gives them 2
Hey,
different
I'll tell you
plays.
what.
One of them's a run
I'll
one, and they
put-
went with the pass one.
I'll put a pretender here if we can agree to put a pretender here.
I'm not putting a pretender on either one of them. I said borderline contender.
Oh, borderline contender.
Yes. So we can put it on both of them if you want.
Borderline contender.
Yeah.
No, I'm putting a contender on Jalen. He actually gone to a Super Bowl. We'll put contender in training.
A contender in training. The hate. The hate.
It's not hate, man. It's
I mean, you don't like the Cowboys. You don't like the attention Purdy's getting. That alone tells you everything you need to know.
Yeah. Yeah, I agree with both of that, actually. Yeah. That doesn't mean that I hate Brock Purdy. I absolutely hate the Dallas Cowboys. Yeah, for sure. There's no doubt in that. Dak, Micah wants to be an Eagle so bad. He can't stand it. Micah talks about us every week. He wants to be in Philadelphia.
He wants to make it past the first game of the playoffs.
He doesn't even know what that looks like.
I know. I know. Just like this year, they're going to choke in the first game against the wild card team.
They're not going to the wild card.
Agree to disagree. They're going to play in the playoffs.
Dude, have you seen Mike McDaniel as they're playing? The dude looks like his blood pressure is fucking skyrocketing. He looks more stressed than anybody I've ever seen. That dude is.
And he continues to try to run the ball.
No. I'm talking about the coach.
Yeah.
Because he doesn't trust Dak. And he can't tell Jerry
last
that.
year, more interceptions than anybody else.
He can't tell Jerry that because he likes his job. He can't. What?
Yeah, we found out what you do when you go against the owner.
You get fired.
Flores got slammed, and then
Yeah, you get fired, dude. It's not good. All right. Dave's Diamonds. Recapping, he's got Addison, Hubbard, Wandale Robinson, Jacoby Myers, and Harrison Butker. Kicker for the Chiefs. Finish this out with...
Yeah, I think Butker's going to get a good game again because it's going to be a slam fest.
We'll see, man. I don't know if you can have as good of a game as you did like that 2 weeks in a row.
Yeah, he had, 16, 17 points?
It was great.
He single-handedly won the game for him.
What do we know about San Francisco and their injuries?
I think C-Mac is out this week. And Debo has been played injured all year. They already came out and said it, but his injury may take him out this week also.
San Francisco.
I don't know about Trent Williams' injuries yet.
I'm going to pick you. Don't fuck me.
I know Ayuk is still playing, and so is Kittle. Neither one of them are injured.
Kittle can do it. Ayuk is not going to have another bad game like that.
He better not drop a touchdown pass. Jeez. At least 2 weeks in a row. Come on.
Let's see.
I get the overthrow. I get the misconnections. That is on the quarterback and receiver, depending on what the play was called in the huddle at the time. If the receiver made a judgment down the field and the quarterback missed that judgment, that's going to be a misconnection. Now, when you get the ball in your hands and you have a touchdown staring at you, you cannot drop those passes. You know, and someone like Ayuk, you don't drop those passes. You can't. It just makes no sense. You know?
I know.
Your picks?
Yeah.
I haven't looked at the week yet.
We're doing some pretty controversial stuff here.
Oh, yeah?
We are.
You got the Saints over Jacksonville?
You heard what I said?
You realize the quarterback's still injured?
It's okay.
What about the running back? Ever since he came back?
Dude. Yeah, Alvin
Kamara is a freaking beast right now.
That's why, dude, after what they did to Houston, and I thought Houston has been dominant. I really thought they were going to pull that out.
You know what's funny? You said somebody tried to trade you Adams for Kamara.
Mm-hmm.
And since that point, Kamara's put way more up than Adams has.
Yeah, you should redo that.
I remember that state. I was like, that's insane. And then you were like, yeah, right? And then Jacoby is the one that you wanted to trade for him, and Jacoby's the one putting points up.
Yeah, I'm happy that didn't go down, actually.
You better look at that again. Jeez. I don't think we'll see much out of Devontae Adams until he gets what he wants. I think he wants to leave the Raiders right now. Disgruntled employee, I think he's been asking to move to go somewhere else. I don't think he is. They're not going to let him go.
No, I think it's a play for more money. I don't think he's going anywhere.
It might be.
They worked too hard to get him there.
Oh, they did work pretty hard.
Yeah, they signed an entire quarterback they didn't want.
They fucked that quarterback over hard just to get him.
They ruined his whole fucking life, dude.
Yeah. Over just one wide receiver.
Want him bad.
That was some hooked up shit.
Finishing it out, guys. You know how we do it. Here at Bro Banter, we do the Stefan selections to finish out the podcast. So, Jacksonville at New Orleans. I got New Orleans taking this. I got the Raiders over Chicago. I got Indianapolis over Cleveland. I think you guys can do it.
Where are they playing? Are they playing in Indy?
I'm not sure. But I know they're coming off a win after beating Jacksonville last week. And that's still without Anthony Richardson. So to me, it doesn't matter.
They did not beat Jacksonville. I went line for line with the wins. Jacksonville beat the Colts this past week.
Oh, yeah. I got a minus there. Sorry. Yeah, we're switching that then. I'm sorry. I need to be able to read my own data. That's crazy. Sorry, guys.
Yeah, I kept track of that. I didn't put Dallas because it was the last one. We all need to do on that one.
Yeah, Cleveland over Indy. And I don't believe in you, Indy. I'm sorry. Buffalo over New England. New England, guys, I hope you get a win. It's not happening at Buffalo.
Division game. It's in
New England. It doesn't matter.
Well, I get it. Now, they need to put Mac Jones on the motherfucking bench.
They're not.
They need to put Zappy up there.
Zappy hasn't even practiced.
I know.
Washington over the Giants. Washington over the Giants for sure. Atlanta over Tampa Bay.
Another division game, right?
Yeah. Atlanta over Tampa Bay. Detroit over Baltimore.
Really? You got Atlanta over?
Yeah. Tampa Bay doesn't have a very good run defense, and if Bijan is going to have a good game, it's going to be there. Detroit over Baltimore. The Rams over Pittsburgh. Arizona over Seattle. I have Green Bay beating Denver. I think this is going to be the upset of the week. I think Jordan Love is going to take it out and just put it on Russell's face. Kansas City is going to beat the Chargers, but it's not going to be by much. If they do it all, I don't have a whole lot of stock in this happening. That's also a divisional game, and the Chargers
defense looked hot.
Well, they do really well against the Chiefs every year. Every year. Philadelphia at Miami, beating them.
No, not at Miami.
They're beating Miami. Shut up. Philadelphia is beating Miami. We after the loss that we suffered last week, we are not going to go 2 weeks in a row suffering the same way. San Francisco over Minnesota. Brock, prove me wrong. Prove me wrong. I think that would be the game to do it, especially if they stay without C-Mac, and if Debo does not play, I think he'll see some game time. But yeah, that's going to be your opportunity to get on the road to prove me wrong. I'm not going to be completely on board and say that your cock's huge and that you're the best quarterback in the NFL because I still won't believe it then.
Hold on. Why is this cock a question here?
Because last year I called him Big Cock Brock.
Oh, okay. I was like, I don't know what that's got to do with anything.
We had Mr. Irrelevant come in and do some pretty impressive things.
Debo will probably play because he always plays injured every year. I mean, even when he's injured on the field, except for this last game, most of the time he comes back out.
Yep.
I mean, you see people like that, and they on teams like Tyreek when he'll come out limping with an ankle and he'll come back out 4 plays later and come and catch a ball and run down the field. Those guys play injured.
Patrick
with his ankle last year. Yeah, if you are injured, just like Travis Kelce, you're going to play if you have the ability to, because that's what kind of people they are.
Yep.
The athleticism in them and the competitiveness in them won't let them not. So Debo, we'll probably see him on the field a couple times. I don't think he's going to have a big showing on the field. I don't think C-Mac will play because they're going to be careful with him. Mm-hmm. They've already injured his ass.
Yeah. All right, guys. That's all you got from us. Remember, you can follow us here, Facebook, here, Spotify, here, YouTube. Reach out to us anytime. We're going to bring these to you every Tuesday when we have the ability. Love you guys. Thank you so much.
Have a good one. In the middle of this, the wife messaged me. She goes, Mahomes and Tua are listed as MVP week 6, and Hill is a possibility. Number 3. I was like, I already know that. Thank you.
Episode 3.
Oh, I forgot to bring up the Las Vegas Golden Knights. NHL Golden Knights are 3-0 right